One thing that I wanted to ask you about, and this is something that obviously has been reported on in 2008 and 2010 in previous runs, but was your issues with alcoholism earlier on in your adult life. And I wondered, how did confronting that affect you or change you, personally and professionally?
Well, it's part of who I am, first of all, and I've been very upfront about it, and the Register has reported on it extensively in both of the runs. But, I've said to people and in interviews I've done, it was a very, very hard time in my life and in my family's life. It didn't just impact me, it impacted my family. And why, I've said that people have every right to judge me by that, but I hope they would also judge me on how I responded to the adversity that I faced. And there's hundreds and thousands of Iowans that deal with addiction on, and it's not easy. And so I think, yeah, really, but part of the problem is I think when you feel like you can control every aspect of your life and right from, it's hard when you don't understand why you can't get control of that or why you can't handle it. And the fact of the matter is, I couldn't. I needed help, and it just took a really devastating thing for me to finally say, look, I can't do this on my own, and I need help. And I was blessed because I have a very strong faith where I just finally turned it over, and I had a family that supported me, and on top of that, I had a community that stood behind me and gave me a second chance, and not everybody has that or gets that, and I'll never forget that. And I'm just so grateful that they helped my family get through it. They took meals to them when I was in treatment, and it just was a community that stood up and stood behind me, and I will never ever forget that. And so, part of it is just learning to forgive yourself too, because that's a hard thing to do, but that's how you move on. And I think the message that I would say to people is, life can be so much better, and don't be afraid to go get help, and because it can change your life, and it did. And I am grateful for every day, and there is rarely a night that I don't go to bed without thanking God for another day of sobriety. So.